Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I came across an article that I really want to share my perspective. This article is about KRISTIN Cavallari. Now, to be totally honest, I have never heard of her before I read this article. This article is from TMZ. The link will be right down below, and you can read it yourselves. KRISTIN Cavallari is a reality TV show star from the show Laguna Beach, and I think she also does a podcast, and she has this Instagram channel. And the link to the Instagram post will be right down below. It's just one specific post that is in an article on TMZ, and so the article and the Instagram post will be right down below. In this Instagram post, she's giving relationship advice. I think this is part of her thing from her podcast. Like I said, I'm really not familiar with her. I believe she's 36 years old. She's an attractive-looking blonde woman. I am 20 years older, and I've got quite a bit of dating experience. In this Instagram post, she's giving advice to women, and she says, forget her previous advice. She's told women before to wait about a couple dates or 10 dates before they're intimate with their partner. I'm going to put it this: the way she says it in her Instagram, it's a lot more crude, a lot more to the point. The way she describes it in her Instagram post, she drops a lot of F-bombs, and she says, forget that. She says, if you're into it, just go ahead and, do it on the first date. Go for it. Just, screw your brains out on the first date. If that's what you want to do, forget waiting. It doesn't matter. Okay. And she doesn't really give any particular reason for this. She just says it doesn't really matter. And she says she's known people in great relationships. She says if the chemistry's there, the chemistry's there. And she's known people in long-term, I don't know what long-term relationships to her, what that means. I don't know if that's a couple months or a year or 2 years or what. But she says she knows couples that, went at it right on the first date and they're doing great. So that's her criteria for telling women to just go ahead and bang away on the first date. I'm going to share my experience with you, and from a guy's perspective. And this is honest. I wouldn't consider myself a chauvinist or anything like that. But I'm going to give you my honest perspective. And this has to do with me being clean and sober for these were clean and sober relationships. I've been clean and sober since October 23rd of 2006, 17 years. For the first 7 years, I didn't have any relationships whatsoever. Seriously. I was a hardcore addict, heroin and crack cocaine. And for the first 7 years, I worked on myself, getting myself back together financially, working out, starting a business, painting, doing artwork, selling my artwork, and getting confidence in myself. I first started dating 7 years. It was a woman that I used to date her sister back in high school, and we always had a flirtatious relationship, and we hooked up I saw a post on Facebook, and it said, how come there's nobody around when I'm horny? That's what it said. I found out later this was some kind of challenge between women, that they were doing different things, and it had to do with charities or something. But anyway, I said, me. And so we hooked up, and we started dating. She was newly divorced. And she told me, after we started dating, she told me that the reason that she had broke up with her husband, or her husband dumped her after 20 years of marriage, was because he found out that he found intimate texts between her and 2 or 3 other guys, where she was sexting other guys. And she said, that she gave me all these reasons why. In my head, I'm saying, right there, I didn't trust her. One of the first times I went to talk to her, we sat down at the table, we started flirting. This is the very first time I went over her house just to sit down and talk to her. And she bragged to me. She says, I like great. She told me that the very first time. So there's a little, there was already a little mistrust there. And I thought, if she's going to do this to her husband of 20 years. But anyway, It was some terrific sex. It was some of the most incredibly. She had this thing she would do after we were intimate, where she would I don't know how to say this and still say monetize. She would clean up. She would clean things up every time. I mean, it was crazy animal passion. One weekend, she told me, she wanted to break a record for the most times in one weekend she ever, and I kind of pictured myself as a pencil that was in a sharpener and just kept getting, you sharpen it until there's no pencil left. That's what I felt like at the end of that weekend. I was actually taking Viagra, and I never even told her that. So I was partly dishonest in this relationship too, because it was the intimacy was so often. We're talking 3 or 4 times a day that I really needed a boost. Here's the thing, though. I didn't trust her. I did not trust her, and I ended up dumping her after about 10 months, and it was tough. I still feel bad to this day. She threatened to hurt herself. I think she's married now. She's happily married, but I couldn't trust her, and it was because of her sexuality and her saying that she lied good, and that she would just give it up right on the and. The sex was crazy kinky. Let's just say we went food shopping before our very first intimate encounter. We went food shopping in the vegetable aisle. Seriously. Okay. Like I said, that was sex on the first date. Now let's go to my second relationship in the last 17 years, Audrey. We started dating. She knew that I had dumped the first girl, Paula. And I had known this, she was my very first girlfriend back in like 3rd grade, and we had separated, went our own ways. She got married, and we kind of bumped back into each other in our 50s, and we started dating. She knew that I had just broken up with Paula. Here's the thing. She would not be intimate. Part of it, she wasn't sure. She knew that I'm the one that broke up with the girl Paula, the one before her, but she would not be intimate. She was not intimate with me for 3 months. 3 months, and believe me, I got frustrated. I started to get a little angry. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. She was very confident. The first woman too, I got to say this. The first woman, she didn't have a father, and then she had a very unstable family. I think she had daddy issues, seriously. Audrey, the second girl I dated, had a very strong father figure, a very good family. She was very confident in herself. And there was no intimacy for 3 months. 3 months. And I remember getting angry, getting frustrated by the end of that. But here's the thing. I trusted her implicitly, completely, 100%. And there was, just because of the first woman's sexuality, and her saying that she was a good liar, and the fact that she cheated on her while she was sexting other guys when her husband dumped her. But a big part of it was the first woman putting out, getting intimate right away, some crazy hot, passionate love, crazy food involved lovemaking on the very first date. And I didn't trust her. I'll be honest, I did not trust her. And then when I started dating the second woman, Audrey, she was not, we'd kiss, but there was a little like over the clothes stuff, and the clothes stayed on. I didn't see her completely naked for 3 months, man. We actually went away. We went away to eat we went away to the beach for weekends here and there. And we'd sleep in the same bed, but there was no intimacy for 3 months, man. And like I said, I remember getting frustrated. I got right at the end of the 3 months, I remember accusing her of wearing a bra, like a very, very tight bra to bed, because I was like, you don't want me to get under that bra. I told her, I said, do all women wear such, heavy duty tight bras to bed? I was like, I don't think so. I think you're wearing that tight bra just because you don't want me getting in there, and I actually got to that point where I was starting to say stuff like that. I was getting frustrated, but it made a huge difference. It really did. I trusted Audrey just 100% completely, because she held out for 3 months. Swear to God, true story. there's some other, I told you guys, there was some other reasons why I didn't trust the first woman, and why I did trust Paula, but or I did trust Audrey. But a big part of it was the Audrey holding out for 3 whole months. 3 months, man. And I trusted her in honesty. KRISTIN Cavallari does not. She talks about chemistry and some of this other stuff, but I don't hear her say the word. I don't hear her say the word trust one time in this video. Like that's not, to me, that is the most important part of any serious relationship is trust. If you don't have trust, you don't have anything. You can't just be with a woman and then as soon as you're at work or you're not together, you're wondering if she's I remember Facebook. I was so lividly jealous in checking the first girl, Paula's Facebook constantly. Who's this guy? Look what this guy's saying to you here. Audrey, I never even looked at her Facebook. I trusted her 100%, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that she was not intimate with me for 3 months. It's a guy's perspective. You can call me a chauvinist or whatever you want if you think that's, if you think I am, and I'm older. But that's a guy's perspective. If you want to have trust in the relationship, get to know each other as friends, hold out for a while. It will build a trust relationship between two people. But I got to say this. I think there's a point where it gets, you might risk actually switching over to becoming to the friend zone, as it's called. If you get a little too comfortable and there's not passion, if you hold out and you still don't have some passion and some desire there, the relationship could slide into the friend zone where you just start to become friends and you kind of miss that opportunity to be intimate. So that's one of the dangers of holding out. I have to include that because that's honest. That's an honest danger to prolonging intimacy, is sliding into the friend zone. That's my opinion, a real guy's opinion. Let me know what you think. I'll be back later with another video. KRISTIN Cavallari, the links will be down below to TMZ, to the article, and the Instagram post where she actually says this. Go ahead and bang him on the first date, she says. I'll be back later with another video. You guys have a good Tuesday.